Goodness, this just fell off. I guess it just clips on, but that sucks. I gotta fasten this on there. As you guys can see, we're starting off the day right. We got Adrian's exhaust finally finished. All we did was throw a muffler on there and use our beautiful, beautiful welding skills. Nobody out there does the welding that Sam does. You guys know that. It's a little in there actually, but put a nice little pipe in there. We haven't been able to turn it on because the car has been dead. The battery's dead, of course, old car problems. But we're going to finally dig in. So we've had the Miata for about 2 weeks now, maybe 3, I'm not sure. And a lot of gremlins have came out starting today with that piece of the door just breaking off. And there's a few that are on the top of our list, and there's a few that are on the bottom of our list. Now, I said we weren't going to jump into the Miata till the 86 is done, and that is still true, but because this car is being dailied, because the white truck is a gas-guzzling monster, we're going to get the Miata a little bit more sorted for regular driving. With that being said, there's 2 things on the top of my list right now, and as funny as it sounds, it's more of a commodity thing. The car runs and drives. The car has a fuel smell, like a strong fuel smell that mixes in with the deodorant, and I believe it's the top of the gas tank inside the car where you have that access hole. I believe it's somewhere in the back over here, so we're gonna have to dig in there and hope to see an access hole for the fuel tank. And another thing is this exhaust. I took a clip the other day, and I believe it only works on one side. So we're gonna get under there and see what's going on under the car. You guys keep in mind, this car, I don't know what's been done to it. Granted, back when I had it when I was 17, I've never been under the car because back in the day, we didn't have that luxury. So we're gonna see what we find underneath this beauty. Car is in the air. Time for the truth. It's a little scary. We're gonna have to fix these pinch welds. They're really bad. Let's see what's going on. Well, that's not good. We've got a real serious leak somewhere here. Looks like oil pan. I'm gonna have to find the exact culprit somewhere up there. But we definitely have a leak, and this is quite fresh. So we're gonna have to figure that out before it gets too bad. Let's see. Somebody reinforced these frame rails, which makes me question how they are underneath the car. They look good from here. That's probably why they did this, because the pinch welds were crap. I guess this is a very common thing that they make these for the frame rails. Exhaust wise, it seems like they did a little bit of a cutting thing here and they made it louder. The muffler just goes to one side and this one just branches off. That's kind of weird. Huh. If there's any Miata specialist, let me know how this, if something looks funky under here for you guys. This is a little different. They have an upgraded sway bar in the rear, which I don't know if this was here 11 years ago. Remember, I couldn't tell you if it was. See what I find wrong and I'll update you guys if something seems terribly wrong. Once upon a time, there was one of these in here, and then somebody decided to cut it here. You can see that they re-welded here, and then they re-welded here again. I'm not sure what for. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert this in between these two. Not very, very complicated. You just got to get the lengths right. Now, they're kind of angled already, see? We're just going to make it smooth. we have our ends cut off. Our length should be pretty spot on. We won't be able to tell till we're under the car. But basically we're gonna bolt this into the car and then hope that our measurements are right. If we need to cut more, we'll cut it off of this edge or whichever edge we'd like to till we get it to the desired length. So easier said than done, right? Let's see what happens. And now, it's pretty much there. Could actually be a little bit longer. I may have cut a touch too much, but it can slide this way because of the muffler, so we should be in business anyways. We're gonna weld this sucker shut and then throw it back on, and that should be that. Then we'll get on to the rest of this stuff. She's welded up, she's ready to go. I put some WD-40 in the joints just to kind of see if anything is squeaking that shouldn't be squeaking, or a lot of this rubber is real old and I don't have everything on hand. We're gonna have to replace a lot of these bushings. We're gonna make a list, check it twice, test drive it, and then hopefully the sound is a little bit better. You guys really won't be able to tell, especially over the camera. That's not quite. So it does sound a lot better. I did realize that the main reason it was louder was beside the exhaust, we have an exhaust leak up front that I didn't notice just now. I think somebody didn't put the proper bushings on the headers or something. At first we're gonna go for a little spin. Oh no. I'm happy to announce that I'm not getting old. It was just the exhaust note. So the exhaust note had a raspy sound. I don't know if that really translates well, but it wouldn't just sound pure and like subtle and pretty, if that makes any sense. It kind of had that rattle noise at the end, and I don't like it when it sounds rattly. It just doesn't sound clean and it gets annoying, especially if you drive it every day. Like, I like a good exhaust tone, but once it starts rattling and sounding weird, I don't do it. So it did a lot. It's 10 times better, but there is a smaller exhaust leak out front that we're going to assess later. We're not going to do it right this second because the next thing that's pretty urgent is the fuel. Once you're driving, it gets all over you. You start smelling like fuel. The wife doesn't like it. The wife doesn't like it. We're not going to be able to putt around in it. You know, women things. So let's check it out and see what it is. You guys probably can't hear me, but it smells a lot like fuel in here. Yeah, so behind the seats directly, actually, you have these access holes, or this access hole for the fuel tank. And a lot of the times they'll remove it. The problem is that you're supposed to seal it because the fumes come out of everywhere, so it's good to have like a specific sealer. Now, silicone will do the job, but it's supposed to be like a specific sealant, if I'm not mistaken. That kind of works. Okay. They did a big thing. Never mind. The intention was not good. They just went at it with a big cutoff wheel. So they did this hole to add bigger speakers, and then they went to not putting speakers in the car for some reason. So we don't have speakers. They cut so much that this is to hide the sharp edges. That's what it is. So much damage. We pretty much got all of that crap out of there, and as much as I hate it, you know, it's good because we'll be able to build onto this, and at least we dug in, figured out what was wrong, and we'll be able to assess it before it gets worse. Luckily, we don't have any rust, and that is a big obstacle. Main reason we're doing it with the top down or top up is we actually have more clearance in here. It may not seem like it, but we do. This is the access hole that was supposed to be the only hole to get back here. But now this flap was cut out, and then in here, they pretty much just went and banged it in. My guess is they put some nice speakers in here. Whoa, we got all our room back. Okay guys, it is another day. We have dug ourselves into a rabbit hole once again. Not our fault, but you know, these are the things that happen when you buy an old car. And it wasn't supposed to be as extensive. It had to be just a quick nut and bolt check, essentially. And it went downhill quick. So let me show you guys. This is the metal plate that's supposed to go in the back. So this is supposed to go down in that metal hole over there. As you guys can see, it's a little messy, but it's not rusty. And this is what they cut, but not just that. In the fuel tank, there's holes on the side. The biggest issue is that if this fuel tank releases fumes, which they all do, they're not gonna go down and out of the car. They're gonna come up and in the car. Essentially what we have to do is bring this back together, seal it, and then put the cap, seal this side as well, and then clean everything up. So let me show you guys how we're gonna do that. This is not going to be the perfect way to fix it because we're trying to do this quick, efficient, and then get back to it later once we have the 86 done, right? So therefore we can't drop the tank and do it properly because we're not about to weld while the fuel tank is right there. I don't feel comfortable doing that, so we're going to do it this way. As you guys can see, this flap, they cut it out, right? And what happened was that it was bent that way, so we had to kind of hammer it in this way. And this tape right now is holding it from going back slightly because it still wants to go back that way. The only purpose this tape serves is to not get my hands worse or the car worse. Obviously, that's kind of out of the picture, but the car is what matters at this point. There's a lot more room in here now with this thing up. We're gonna get this out of the way. We're gonna throw a nice bead all the way across. There we go. Then we're gonna try and see if it'll seal this corner up too. This corner's gonna have a lot. There we go. Nice fat bead did us justice. Well, the Miata is out of the shop. We pretty much got it finalized. It's not pretty. Like I said, it's temporary. Once we get into the whole Miata build, we'll do it right. We gotta have to drop the fuel tank for that, and if we drop the fuel tank right now, we won't have a small daily. We'll have the mammoth-sized truck. So we're gonna keep it dailyable for right now. Adrian's car is on the lift. We're getting some transmission fluid in it. We're getting a body kit on, and his car's pretty much ready to go. As exciting as that sounds. We have the 8.6, the Miata, but we have to do a thing. We kind of figured out the door situation. Somebody ruined this part. It used to be like this. Somebody demolished my door cards for these hideous speakers. So under here, the silicone is drying.
Okay. This one came out pretty good. It came out really easy.
I'm gonna clean on the inside, actually. If you guys want one of those, hit me up. I'm just having fun with it. So shout out to Paco for making these stickers. Paco is the hairy wonder that is sometimes in the videos. Wait, what are you doing? Hold up. You know what we should do? Let's drop your car so we can put the bumper on as is and see where we can attach it to. Let's go ahead and throw this on. We're gonna take the honors. Let's try to not have it fall this time.
Oh my.
Okay, so this is about where it's gonna sit. Hold it right there, don't let it fall.
Why are you pulling it over there for? How hard are you pulling?
All right, good, she's ready to go. Look at that, boom.
Ready for highway use. Man, that fit is mint. Here to go.
We're gonna attempt to finish this bumper, and after that, we will see you guys for the first ever test drive. We're gonna drive it today?
We need to tune it as well.
We're not gonna tune it, we're just gonna
And
drive
we need
it.
a new valve cover.
We're just gonna drive it. Hey guys, here's a, how much is this grill?
I don't know, parts.
How much does it cost online?
Well, I saw one on eBay for like 500.
All right, so here's a 500?
On eBay.
Are you sure you want me to do this?
I'm not gonna use it for anything else.
Hold up.
Oh.
Here's a $500 grill.
Well, maybe. I don't think I personally would spend 500 on that.
Unless you really needed it.
I mean, this is eBay.
Unless
like,
your car was mint. Geez, I don't know if I want to cut this now. As you guys may know, we haven't gone on the test drive. It was an absolute fail. His car runs, it drives technically, but it'll drive like 10 feet and then it'll turn off. Needs to be tuned. We are not good at tuning carburetors. So we're gonna try to attempt this later. We're gonna leave it for the pros most likely because it's something that we are not familiar with. But tell me that is not a good view. Just tell me that is not a good view. And if it weren't enough, oh yeah, we got some glazed coat, some flake. We're gonna be doing our countertop finally. Jeez, this is a good view. This is a good view. I can't explain it, but just this coming into this shop looking like this does a thing for me that I was not sure that I was going to be able to have in this house. It's a love-hate thing because sometimes I hate them and sometimes I love them. But when I see them like that together, it hits that, I don't know, it does something. It does something and it is a good something. This video took a couple days because the Miata was a pain in my butt. The actual ghetto-ness that we did on the back of the car, it worked. I went to the gym this morning, got a good workout in, and no fuel, but we still have a rattle, and I know what it is. After further inspection, there's a couple loose